Hello, it's Nate again. It's just me today, but I'm going to show y'all how to build a foam board glider like this one. And hopefully this one that I'm making right now is going to fly a little better. But the one I'm showing you right now, this is modeled after a Spitfire from World War II. And the plane I'm working on right now is modeled after a World War II plane, but it is modeled after a TBD Devastator. So go ahead and just look up TBD Devastator, and so you can see what kind of plane that is. But in the overall scheme of things, it has a similar structure to the one I just showed you, except it has longer wings and it's a little bigger. But yeah, go ahead and look up blueprints of the TBD Devastator, and that will help you with building this airplane. But I'm going to show you, first of all, just how you do the wings. So trace it out onto some Adams ready board right here, and cut it out with your X-Acto knife and your scissors. Having both available is extremely useful. And then once you, so cut out one and then use that one to trace out your other one. And I normally like to peel the paper off. However, I've had a little bit of a difficult time doing that on this sheet for whatever reason. And so I peeled it off on the one side of this one and on both sides of this one pretty much. But I went ahead and left the paper on this one side, which I don't think will cause too much of a problem, and it might actually help make it stronger. But I'm going to show y'all how to put the wing together and how to turn it into a nice airfoil. So just spray your glue along the edge like this. And make sure you spread some on the inside. I have no idea whether I'm successfully catching this, but it is very hot, and you can see that because of the steam, so be careful. Of course, the steam is more visible just because it's cold today. But go ahead and put that on, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna have to I'll put this here high so you can see me, but I need to squish this together good. Okay. So once you have it squished together good, and I'm going to go ahead and get me another glue stick, but just go ahead and make sure you have it glued together nicely. And this is the first time I've done this with a little bit of paper on it, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. But just go ahead and do that. Like I said, make sure that everything is glued down really well. That's extremely important, because essentially what you're doing is you're laminating the two pieces of foam board together. I dropped my glue stick. Okay, so make sure you get all that situated. And then once you've done that, get a sanding block. I have a little foam one right here that works quite well. And what you're going to want to do is go over here. I have no idea if you can still see me right now or not. But I'm going to put you right here for a minute. And you're going to go ahead and make your airfoil shape. The airfoil, for those of you who are not aerodynamically inclined, is the part of the airplane that helps lift it into the air. The engine pulls it through the air, but the wings help it stay in the air. And that is extremely important for all airplanes, but when you're making any aircraft that is heavier than air, you want to make a good airfoil. So that's extremely important. It doesn't have to be super crazy perfect necessarily. And I may not get this 100% right before I stop the video because I don't want it to go on forever and ever. I just, you know, storage and cell phone reasons, but you want the trailing edge, which is this part, to be like thinner than the leading edge, which is the front part. So trailing edge thinner than leading edge. And it is always preferable when you're making your wings if you can do one entire sheet like this, or one entire piece, because that helps with structural integrity. This is a rather unique wing shape for me, so we're having to take it easy here. But, you know, I don't know if you can see, but we're already kind of getting a good airfoil shape going on, and then, you know, you basically just do that more on the other side. You do want it to be as even as possible. This is going to go on the underside of the body, or the fuselage, of our Devastator. Oh, and you should probably be wearing a mask while you do this. I was not demonstrating good safety for y'all. I apologize. So put a mask of some sort on, because you're going to be creating a lot of dust. And, you know, really what you're trying to avoid is any resemblance of a just sheet of foam board, because that is not very aerodynamic at all. It does not create any lift. You want to create lift, which is a pressure. I'll show you here. It is a pressure that essentially goes over the top of the wing. This is a extremely rudimentary looking wing right now, so, you know, bear with me, but the airplane is going through the air like this, right? So you're going to have the air coming over here is going to create a movement under here that is going to help pull the wing up. I'm not an aeronautical engineer, so I can't explain this super well, but look up lift and, you know, studying. I know it's boring, but it's fun if it's something you're interested in, and learning about lift and aerodynamics, just the basics of it will help you tremendously if you want to make something fly. So we're getting a pretty decent wing shape, airfoil shape. And there are a lot of different airfoil shapes out there. I really don't know that much about them because I'm not an aeronautical engineer. Again, I know I already said that. But you know, this is just a very basic wing shape. The shape you're going for when you look at the wing from this angle is like a teardrop. And I'm just keeping y'all on long enough to see kind of a good example of what I'm talking about. And I'd say we're pretty much there now. It's really fun seeing just a blocky piece of foam board like this turn into a wing. And you know, you may need a little bit of work on that, you know, the trailing edge with some glue to kind of nail some of that stuff down, or you know, just help it stay on better. I think you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. And I'm going ahead and sanding this little part that tapers into the fuselage as well. And that's basically, that's how you do your wing. And do just a small bit of adjusting the wingtip shape here. If you do any adjusting of the shape of your wing, make sure that you go back in and ensure that you have that nice airfoil shape with the trailing edge being thinner than the leading edge. And that is our wing, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. I know it's just a wing and we don't have a full airplane yet, but this is such a crucial part of making your plane fly. So that's all we got for this video. Probably went pretty long, but I got to show you everything I wanted to show you for this one. And I will make another one at some point showing the other parts of the airplane. But yeah, so that's all. Thanks. See ya.